The unthinkable just happened inside the Chicago Sky locker room, and the cameras caught every second of it. Angel Reese, once the proud face of a team on the rise, has just been exposed in a way no one saw coming. A viral tape has surfaced from deep inside the team's private quarters showing her teammates turning on her in a brutal, unfiltered moment of betrayal that fans are calling the biggest backstab in WNBA history. What happened behind those closed doors has shaken the league to its core. Players yelling, coaches silent, and Angel Reese, completely blindsided, caught in the middle of a mutiny. This wasn't just locker room drama, this was a full-on revolt. A star isolated, a team divided, and a fan base demanding answers. Insiders say this has been brewing for weeks, with mounting tension between Angel and the rest of the squad, finally exploding after a devastating home loss. But no one expected it to get this ugly. Now, as the footage spreads like wildfire across social media, fans, analysts, and WNBA legends are all weighing in, with some calling it the end of Angel's time in Chicago. What went so wrong so fast? And why does everyone suddenly hate Angel Reese? Let's get into it. Angel Reese didn't just walk into the WNBA, she stormed into it like a force of nature. Crowned the Bayou Barbie after leading LSU to a national championship and igniting a media firestorm with her unapologetic attitude and flair, Reese was seen as the new face of women's basketball. She had endorsements, fans, and more headlines than any rookie in years, but with fame came pressure, and with pressure came cracks that now appear to have shattered the Chicago Sky from the inside out. When Reese was drafted by the Chicago Sky, the excitement was palpable. She brought with her millions of fans from her college days, a massive social media following, and enough charisma to light up every arena she stepped into. The Sky had been struggling with identity since losing key veterans in recent years, and Reese seemed like the perfect spark to rebuild their brand. Pairing her with Kamilla Cardoso, another high-profile rookie from South Carolina, was supposed to be the beginning of a new dynasty. But things behind the scenes were never as smooth as they looked from the outside. Sources close to the team say Reese arrived in Chicago with her own rules. While her energy and confidence won over many fans, some teammates reportedly felt she didn't respect the team's hierarchy or veterans. From the start, there were whispers of private meetings, icy locker room moments, and on-court disagreements that were edited out of broadcasts but noticed by insiders. One former assistant coach even hinted that the locker room was never aligned, it was always divided her side and everyone else. Adding fuel to the fire, Reese's off-court presence continued to grow. She was walking red carpets, doing interviews with Vogue, and building her brand faster than most rookies ever have. But that rising fame began to rub some of her teammates the wrong way, especially those who had been grinding in the league for years without any of the same recognition. She became bigger than the team, one insider leaked anonymously. And that's when things started falling apart. The tension only got worse as the season progressed. On the court, Angel was inconsistent. One night she'd dominate the boards and spark momentum. The next she'd be benched during crucial moments. Meanwhile, fans online started noticing that her teammates didn't celebrate her plays or interact with her much during timeouts. Body language told a story long before the leaked video ever surfaced. Kamilla Cardoso, her fellow rookie, was seen as the quiet opposite to Angel's brash persona. While the media often painted them as a dynamic duo, those close to the team say the chemistry just wasn't there. It was competitive, not collaborative, one player said off the record. There were too many egos and not enough leadership. Even the coaching staff appeared to struggle with managing Reese. In press conferences, head coach Teresa Weatherspoon would often dodge questions about locker room unity or Reese's attitude, always defaulting to, "We're working through things," internally. But fans weren't blind. They saw the cold interactions, the awkward high fists, and the mounting frustration every time the Sky suffered another blowout loss. By mid-season, something had clearly shifted. Angel was no longer being promoted in Sky social media posts as heavily. Her minutes dipped. Her post-game interviews became shorter and more defensive. And now, with this leaked footage showing a full-blown confrontation inside the locker room, it's clear that the problems weren't just rumors, they were real. And they were explosive. What began as a promising rookie season has turned into a complete public unraveling. But no one expected it to reach this level. The betrayal of a star, captured on tape. What exactly happened in that now infamous video? The next part of this story will leave you speechless. The pressure had been building like a volcano under the surface, and then it erupted. It happened after a devastating 22-point Home loss to the Seattle Storm. The Chicago Sky had looked disjointed and uninterested, with Angel Reese benched for most of the fourth quarter. Cameras caught her storming past teammates after the final buzzer without so much as a glance or fist bump. But what happened after the game, in the sanctuary of the locker room, is what shook the franchise to its core. The leaked footage begins with silence until Angel Reese's voice breaks through. Sharp and emotional. "I'm tired of carrying this team's image while y'all play like trash," she shouts, pacing in front of her locker. A few players glance at each other. One of them, allegedly Marina Mabrey, mumbles something under her breath. "What you say?" Angel fires back, and then chaos. In the now viral 38-second video, which appears to be secretly filmed by someone in the locker room, Angel Reese is seen pointing her finger directly at a veteran teammate and yelling, "Y'all jealous because I got the spotlight? I don't need none of y'all. I am the sky." The room explodes. Voices rise. Chairs scrape the floor. Camila Cardoso stands up, visibly agitated for the first time all season, and says, "You don't win by yourself, Angel. This ain't college." That line became the quote heard around the league. Camila, typically reserved and soft-spoken, was the last person anyone expected to challenge Angel publicly. But her response wasn't just about one bad night. According to team insiders, it was the culmination of weeks of mounting resentment about Angel's attitude, her special treatment, and her tendency to blame others for the team's failings. It was a full-on revolt, one staffer said. Not just Camila. Half the locker room turned on her that night. The shocking twist: Reese was nearly suspended before the video ever leaked. According to sources within the Sky organization, there had been multiple warnings about her conduct. Late arrivals to practice, skipping film sessions, ignoring play calls on the court. There had already been to behind closed doors disciplinary meetings between Reese and the coaching staff. This confrontation was simply the final straw. But here's where things get murkier. The very next day, Reese posted a cryptic tweet. "Y'all gon' see who really loyal when the truth come out. #betrayal." What followed was a frenzy of speculation online. Fans were divided. Was Angel the victim of jealousy from bitter teammates? Or had she finally gone too far, letting her ego torch the locker room? And most disturbing of all, who filmed the altercation? Who leaked it? One insider claims the footage was recorded by a teammate, not staff. It wasn't meant to get out, but someone wanted to expose the truth. People were fed up. Within hours, the videos spread like wildfire on social media. Hashtags like #SkyRevolt, #FreeAngel, and #LockerRoomLeak began trending nationwide. ESPN dedicated an entire segment to the meltdown. Former WNBA players chimed in, with many shocked that it got this far. The Chicago Sky had no choice. Within 24 hours of the leak, the organization released a carefully worded statement. "We are aware of an internal incident that was recorded and distributed without authorization. We are taking this matter seriously and addressing it through internal protocols." But behind closed doors, something else was happening. Reese was told she'd be sitting out the next game, not for rest or coaching decision, but for conduct detrimental to the team. Angel Reese, America's most followed WNBA rookie, was being punished, and she was furious. She unfollowed multiple teammates on Instagram that night, deleted all recent posts with Sky branding, then posted another cryptic story with just one word: fake. Was this the beginning of the end for Reese in Chicago? Or just the first battle in a deeper war within the team? The next chapter would take an even darker turn, and it wasn't just about basketball anymore. It was personal. It was personal. Just when fans thought things couldn't get worse for Angel Reese, the situation inside the Chicago Sky locker room exploded into full-blown chaos, and this time, there was no hiding it. The tension that had been quietly simmering for weeks finally reached a breaking point. And it all unfolded right in front of team staff, cameras, and according to a leaked audio clip, members of the front office. It started after a brutal 25-point blowout loss to the New York Liberty. Angel Reese, who had struggled all game with missed layups and defensive lapses, returned to the locker room visibly frustrated. According to a staffer who spoke anonymously, she reportedly slammed her locker, shouted at assistant coaches, and lashed out at teammates for not feeding her the ball enough. But instead of backing down, veteran guard Marina Mabrey clapped back loudly. "You're not the star of this team. You're the reason we're losing," Marina shouted, according to multiple witnesses. The entire room went silent. Angel responded with, "You jealous? I brought the fans. I made this team relevant. But that only ignited a wave of shouting. Courtney Williams reportedly stood up and yelled, "You brought drama, not wins." Then came the reveal that shook the organization. A video clip allegedly filmed by a trainer and leaked online within hours captured the exact moment Marina Mabrey accused Angel of leaking private team messages to the media. "You sold us out. You the reason those TMZ headlines knew about our film sessions," she screamed, finger pointed at Angel. In the footage, Angel doesn't deny it. She just shakes her head and walks out of the room. The silence that follows is deafening. The clip went viral. Twitter exploded. TikTok feeds were flooded with breakdowns. Fans saw firsthand the dysfunction that had only been rumored up to that point. But it didn't stop there. Insider reports emerged, suggesting that several players approached coach Teresa Weatherspoon demanding a closed-door team meeting without Angel. Even more shocking, sources say the coaching staff had already been compiling reports on Angel's behavior, collecting complaints from players, dating back weeks, and if that wasn't enough, a leaked front office email revealed that some in the organization had already considered benching Angel for the next game to regain control of the locker room environment. Suddenly, it wasn't just about chemistry, it was about survival. Fans, who had once cheered for the self-proclaimed Bayou Barbie, began turning on her. Memes popped up comparing her to team wreckers of the past. ESPN's Stephen A. Smith chimed in, calling it one of the most toxic locker room collapses in recent WNBA memory. Angel, once the darling of social media, found herself at the center of a whirlwind she couldn't control. But here's the real kicker. That leaked video. It wasn't the only one. Rumors swirled that even more damaging footage, possibly of a physical confrontation, existed but hadn't yet been released. Fans waited in suspense. The team's PR department went into full crisis mode. And Angel, she went silent on Instagram. No stories, no posts, no quotes. This wasn't just a spat. This was a full-scale mutiny. And behind the scenes, one thing became clear: Chicago's Sky's rising star had become its greatest liability. The question on everyone's lips now was simple but terrifying. Would Angel Reese survive this revolt? Or would her WNBA dream unravel completely in the next 24 hours? The moment the leaked locker room footage hit the internet, the WNBA world erupted. Fans, analysts, and even former players couldn't believe what they were seeing. This wasn't just a locker room disagreement. It was a full-on implosion caught on camera. Within hours, #SkyRevolt trended across Twitter, and sports media outlets scrambled to break down every second of the footage. Stephen A. Smith didn't hold back. On First Take, he declared, "This is not what leadership looks like. I told y'all this was coming?" The Chicago Sky handed over the keys to a rookie, and now the whole team's on fire. Meanwhile, analyst Monica McNutt called it disappointing, but not surprising, citing long-standing chemistry issues that fans had been speculating about for weeks. Shaquille O'Neal went on Instagram Live and, without naming Angel directly, said, "When you want to be the face of the league, you better act like it off the court too." Even Candace Parker, an icon in Chicago basketball, shared a cryptic post on her story. Some things can't be fixed with clout. But the most devastating reaction came from the fans themselves. TikTok exploded with commentary. One viral video with over 2 million views was captioned, "Angel Reese ruined the Sky before she even finished her rookie season." Twitter threads dissected every facial expression in the leaked video, with thousands siding with Marina Mabrey and Courtney Williams. Many fans were heartbroken, saying they'd bought tickets just to support Angela and now felt betrayed. Meanwhile, WNBA players from other teams began weighing in. New York Liberty's Sabrina Ionescu tweeted, "There's a difference between bringing attention to the league and bringing problems." Indiana Fever's Erica Wheeler added, "We protect the game. Always." And perhaps most shocking, one anonymous league veteran allegedly told a journalist, "Angel Reese has more enemies than fans in the locker room, and not just in Chicago." Sponsors reportedly began reaching out to the Sky's management, concerned about their brand's image. A major sportswear partner even paused a campaign featuring Angel until the situation stabilizes. What was once a dream rookie season had transformed into a full-blown PR nightmare, and through it all, Angel stayed completely silent. No apology, no statement, no post. The silence was louder than any outburst, and the world was waiting for her next move. Just when fans thought things couldn't get worse, a second leaked recording surfaced, and this one shook the entire sports world to its core. In the audio clip, a voice that strongly resembles Angel Reese can be heard mocking her teammates, laughing about how none of them will ever have a brand like mine, and saying she doesn't need this team to stay famous. The clip ends with a chilling line. "They need me more than I need them." Social media went into absolute meltdown. Within minutes, hashtags like hashtag Team Revolt, hashtag Trade Angel Now, and hashtag Sky Collapse began trending worldwide. The Chicago Sky front office issued a sudden statement, saying they were aware of additional materials that have recently come to light, and were actively reviewing internal disciplinary options. Multiple insiders reported that an emergency meeting was called at 7 a.m. the next morning, and Angel's presence was requested, not optional. Then came the final blow. One anonymous Sky staffer leaked to a local Chicago sports blog that several veteran players had formally requested a trade if Angel Reese remained on the roster for the remainder of the season. According to the leak, half the locker room is done with her. They've given management an ultimatum: it's her or us. This wasn't just drama. This was a mutiny. And here's the real kicker. WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert is reportedly involved behind the scenes, urging the Sky to resolve the issue quickly and discreetly. The league can't afford to lose more credibility, especially during the most heavily watched season in history. Meanwhile, Angel Reese has still made no public comment. Her Instagram remains quiet. No tweets, no interviews. Her silence, once seen as strength, is now being interpreted as arrogance or worse, guilt. With trade talks swirling, teammates turning, and fans walking away in droves, the Chicago Sky franchise is standing on the edge of a cliff. And unless something changes fast, Angel Reese might be the one who gets pushed off. This scandal is far from over, and if this season has taught us anything, it's that anything can happen next. Will Angel Reese respond to the leaked recordings? Will she take accountability, apologize to her team, or double down on her superstar status? Will the Chicago Sky actually trade her, or are we headed toward a total roster explosion, with multiple players walking out in protest? What about the WNBA itself? This isn't just a locker room issue anymore. It's a league-wide identity crisis. The most talked about rookie has now become the most divisive figure in the sport. For a league still fighting for viewership and respect, this kind of public implosion could be devastating, or, ironically, the attention-grabbing shakeup it secretly needed. But that brings the question back to you, the fans. Do you think Angel Reese should be traded? Do you believe she backstabbed her team, or is this a case of jealousy and internal politics gone wild? Was the leaked audio real or manufactured to push her out? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't hold back. This is your chance to weigh in on the most explosive WNBA story of the year. And don't forget, this is just part 1. More behind-the-scenes footage is rumored to drop. More players may speak out, and sources close to the team say there's still one major twist coming that no one is ready for. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because we're going to be breaking every twist of this story as it unfolds. Until next time, stay locked in, stay informed, and remember, in the WNBA this season, nothing is off limits, and no one is safe. No one is safe.